चलो स्क्रीन दिख रहा है?
यस सर।
चलो टुडे we are going to discuss about the what type of milk or what type of composition which is actually required for the manufacture of cheese. You have acquainted with the different variety of cheese and also go through the processing parameter of briefly about the cheddar cheese. But here once again you have to clear your mind that what type of milk is actually suitable and what type of test we are going to conduct so that we can got the best quality cheese. So number one, you can say selection of milk. तो सिलेक्शन ऑफ मिल्क जैसे मैंने बताया था कि टू टाइप ऑफ फैक्टर, क्वांटिटी फैक्टर एंड क्वालिटेटिव फैक्टर, बोथ आर एक्चुअली वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर द getting the good quality of cheese. Not only the ripened variety but all variety of cheese. The milk quality actually affects the growth of starter culture because growth of starter culture also rennet coagulation है ना, both are actually very much affected with the quality of the milk. That is why we are actually selecting the milk, and according to the composition of the milk we can actually modify their composition according to the requirement of the cheese. So because the starter growth, rennet coagulation and development of flavor all are actually all are, you can say, sensory attributes and also body and texture attributes, all are actually affected due to the type of milk. Similarly, I have already told you that the type of milk. Suppose you prepare cheese from cow milk, the behavior of the milk is different with the buffalo milk. So the method of manufacture which is applied on the cheese manufacture from cow milk is different when you prepared the cheese from buffalo milk or any other species. So you can say composition of milk. The major milk protein, you already know that 80% of the milk is casein, which is present in partially in colloidal form and somewhat in soluble form. Suppose the milk is from cow milk, then the milk is 80% milk, 80% casein are in soluble form and 20% in colloidal form or insoluble form. But whereas in case of buffalo milk, mostly they are present in colloidal form, that is more than 76% are in colloidal form and remaining 20% in soluble form. So behavior of milk is different with the buffalo milk, and once all join, then it will disturb my concentration what I have to teach. In between some are actually going to join. And similarly the minerals content, fat content, which are the fatty acid profile of cow milk is different from the buffalo milk or goat milk, or you can say any other mammals. Similarly, minerals is also play a very important role in the coagulation of cheese. So composition of milk is great role in the manufacture of cheese. We can say already, I have already shown you that milk are also 20% of milk is present in whey. 20% milk is of milk protein is whey, that is lactoalbumin, lactoglobin, and pseudo, or there are other, but two are major, lactoglobin or lactoalbumin. So milk high in whey protein content may delay the clotting time of चीज मैन्युफैक्चर. तो इसका प्रेजेंस ज्यादा होगा तो हमारा क्या है कि कोगुलेशन टाइम है सो इफेक्ट होगा. उसी तरह से ड्यूरिंग चीज मैन्युफैक्चर serum protein lactose, we already told you the serum protein which is soluble in water, which is soluble in soluble form, and lactose which is also in soluble form goes with the whey. That is why cheese is actually very much suitable for the lactose intolerance people and also for the diabetic people. So milk high in casein is highly desirable for the cheese point of view. So that is why we are actually modifying the milk composition according to the type of cheese we are going to manufacture. So cheese containing B variant of beta and kappa casein gives shorter clotting time, higher curd strength as compared to milk devoid of these variants. अगर हमारा इससे दूर रहेगा तो निश्चित रूप से इफेक्ट होगा. Size of casein, you already know that buffalo milk casein is size is higher than the cow milk casein. So the size of casein also affects the clotting time. Smaller micelles having more kappa casein give more clotting time than the larger one. That is why smaller micelles having more kappa casein give shorter clotting time than the larger one. So you can see that the size of the casein also affect the coagulation of the milk, which is actually done in the presence of starter culture by rennet. Either rennet may be calf rennet or maybe microbial rennet, or even you can use plant rennet extract, rennet substitute, you can say rennet substitute. So all are actually affect, and the size is also very much important. Larger the size, that will take more time for clotting, and with respect to the lower size of the casein. Similarly, milk fat. You already know that higher the milk fat content, there are so many flavoring compounds are actually produced when we keep the cheese block in the ripening room, and there are several fat soluble volatile fatty acids compounds are actually manufactured during the ripening cheese, that is actually reflect in the cheese flavor. So increase in fat content gives you reduced syneresis, and thus longer times are required to achieve the desired moisture content in the cheese. I have already told you that then moisture retention is must. Suppose you are going to prepare cheese from buffalo milk, or suppose you making cheddar cheese from buffalo milk, then you will get that due to syneresis, the moisture content in the buffalo milk cheese curd is less in comparison to cow milk. That is why when you are not modifying the buffalo milk cheese, buffalo milk composition, then we will observe that there is a less moisture content. And when there is a less moisture content, definitely they retain less starter culture, less rennet, and when containing less amount of starter culture and rennet, that is not sufficient for the proper ripening. That is proper ripening means proper proteolysis, lipolysis, glycolysis, which is required at certain humidity and temperature, then will definitely affect the flavoring compounds of the cheese. Even cheese may spoil in the ripening room when we are not maintaining the desired moisture content in the cheese. So too low fat is not desirable, as it poses the problems of moisture retention and results in hard and dry body, which is not at all required for the cheddar cheese or any hard variety of cheese. Texture of the cheese is also affected by the fat content. Low milk fat always gives you leathery texture and lack of mellow velvetiness, while high milk fat produces soft, buttery and greasy texture. So too high fat is not desirable in the case of buffalo milk. In the case of going to manufacture cheese, any type of variety of cheese. So we are actually standardize the milk, that is casein fat ratio in the range of 0.67 to 0.72. But in case of generally we are standardizing the milk in the range of 0.7 in case of cow milk. But in case of buffalo milk, we are actually sterilizing the milk up to 0.67 to 0.69. So that gives the best flavor, body and texture, which is almost give you the similar characteristics as we found with the cow milk. Now milk salt. Milk salt is also you can say as already you know that larger proportion of metallic compounds, particularly potassium, sodium, sodium are very much affect the flavor and texture of the cheese. However, we can also say that non-metallic compounds, just like sulfur, chlorine, and phosphorus, iodine, है ना? So as such as contains large proportion of metallic compounds as well as the non-metallic compounds, sulfur, chloride, phosphorus, iodine. The salt in milk are primarily important to the cheese making are calcium and magnesium salt of phosphoric acid and citric acid. Calcium contents greatly influence the cheese coagulation time, strength of the clot, and body and texture of the cheese. Here we can say that you can say the when you prepare the cheddar cheese, then the calcium chloride is added at the rate of 0.03 to 0.04% in the case of cow milk. But when we prepare the cheese from buffalo milk, there is no need of extra calcium chloride to the milk because calcium level is necessary. Calcium level of reasonable quantity is essential for getting the better coagulation of the curd. That is why calcium content plays a very important role in delayed coagulation time, which ultimately affect the body and texture of the cheese, and at the same time they also affect the flavor of the cheese. So calcium content are very much important. So you can say calcium is actually required. Calcium is actually added in case of cow milk, and that is actually recommended to why calcium chloride is added in the case of cow milk, because when after pasteurization of milk, the calcium chloride which is present in somewhat in soluble form and somewhat in colloidal form. When we pasteurize, then definitely the most of the calcium salts are actually precipitated, and they are not play a role in renal coagulation, and they are actually slower the renal coagulation time, and that weaker curd is obtained, which is not desirable from the manufacturing point of view. So that is why it is recommended that you can add calcium chloride at the rate of 0.2 से 0.3% of percent to the milk. जितना दूध लिया उसका 0.1 से लेके 0.3 पर 0.03% तक we can use, so that we can get the desirable curd. However, in case of buffalo milk, there is no any addition of the calcium chloride, because buffalo milk is rich in calcium content. So if somewhat calcium is actually precipitated, then the remaining calcium which is already exist in the buffalo milk during the manufacture, we can after during the pasteurization, that is sufficient for the getting the best coagulation of the cheese, and that will not affect, that will give you the best curd, and the curd is having more flavor and texture. We can get the best texture in the cheese. I have already told you that definitely you can go for sterilization. When we go for sterilization, definitely we can get the best body and texture in the cheese. At the same time, we can also able to get the artistic flavor in the cheese. So you can so you always notice that you must go for sterilization of the milk, either cow milk or buffalo milk. We have already told you what are the consequences we can face when we not standardizing the milk. I have already told you standardization is necessary only, not only for to meet the legal requirement of the product, either you are exporting the product outside the country or within the country, but we have to maintain the uniform quality of the cheese, and standardization is also must so that the desirable body and texture and flavor we can obtain from the standardized milk. If you not standardized, then the you may get the we can get the not full flavor cheese, or even cheese may spoil during the wrapping of cheese. So all the efforts which is actually which are being made for manufacture of cheese are definitely go in wastage. So this is the aspect we have to discuss. Quantitative factors we have already told you. Qualitative factor I have already told you. Chemical quality of milk also affect the quality, and we can divide into three categories. Quality that inhibits starter culture, growth of starter culture. Quality that affects coagulation, that is renate coagulation. Quality that produces stains, gas, holes in the cheese, which is actually not desirable at any type of cheese. So you can go for now I am telling you what I have already told you, that what should be the quality of the milk. What should be the quality of the milk? So they are joining still. They are some who are joining. I have already told you that what type of milk you have to receive. I have told you that the milk should be not containing any extraneous material. The milk should be free from any taint flavor or any off flavor during the reception of the dairy, and you can also determining the sediment test at either at 1 week or every 10 days, so that you can able the quality, you can able to or assess the quality of the milk, the dairy which are actually achieved. Another one is that you can go for MBR test, methylene blue reduction test, which you have already done in the dairy microbiology course also. Methylene blue reduction time, you can go for methylene blue reduction test, or you can go for residue test, or you can go for renate curd test. For milk. So these are actually tests which is actually required for assessing the quality of the milk. क्या क्या बताया मैंने? You can expecting the order of the milk by seeing appearance. Suppose milk is coagulated, then you can discard the various type of milk. Milk should not contain any developed acidity. The milk should be examined for the bacteriophages. Suppose any bacteriophages present in the milk, that will hamper the growth of your starter culture. Similarly, milk should be free from any type of antibiotic residue. Suppose any animals which is suffer from any type of disease, either contagious or any type of disease, then definitely the veterinarians are giving antibiotics, and that antibiotics actually hamper the growth of the starter culture, and that leads to the poor quality of the cheese. So antibiotic residue should be not present in the milk, so milk should be free from any type of antibiotics, or milk should be free from any inhibitory substances. Milk should be free from any inhibitory substances. Inhibitory substances means that should be free from any type of pesticide. The milk should be not containing residual amount of sanitizer, cleaning agents, or any type of inhibitory substance. Even suppose milk is suppose mastitis milk. Mastitis milk that is not suitable for the cheese making. When you prepare the even dahi, you cannot getting the good quality dahi. When you are preparing paneer from the mastitis milk, then definitely you cannot get the good quality cheese. You can find bitter taste. Similarly, when you prepare the cheese from the mastitis milk or any abnormal milk, then you can definitely not getting the quality. Not only getting the quality, but you can able to spoil all the investment which is actually done by dairy for the cheese manufacture. So this all are important. So, and another one is that what type of starter culture? Starter culture, that is two types of the generally two types of starter culture are actually used in the dairy for the manufacture of cheese. One is you can say cheese culture or dahi culture भी use होता है. Dahi culture में already you know what culture is used. Streptococcus lactis, Streptococcus aureus. These two are actually used. Another one is Lactobacillus stereothermophilus, Lactobacillus bulgaricus. These two are actually used for the cheese manufacturers. And starter is actually called heart of the cheese, because if starter culture is of bad quality, definitely you can get the low quality cheese. So starter culture should be of best quality. That means how you can assess the best quality of the starter, है ना? बताओ how we can assess. So we can go for starter activity test. We will go for starter activity test. What is a starter activity test? है ना? कैसे है? तो हमने कैसे करते हैं स्टार्टर कार्ड को, कैसे टेस्ट करते हैं हम जो स्टार्टर कल्चर जो ग्रो कराएंगे, कैसे कराएंगे? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू टेक ए मिल्क, स्कीम मिल्क. दैट मीन्स cream is completely separated from the milk, है ना? You can separated the fat from the milk by the cream separator. उसके बाद क्या करना है? उसके बाद after that you can sterilize the milk. After that you can autoclave the milk. Autoclave कर देना है. Then the milk becomes browning in color. That is actually when we autoclave the milk, then the sulfahydryl compound is actually released, and that is actually suitable for the growth of microbes. So you can get better. देखते होगे कि गांव वगैरह में जब दूध को पूरा गाढ़ा कर देते हैं, दूध को गाढ़ा करते हैं तो ब्राउन कलर का हो जाता है, और उसको ठंडा करने के बाद जब उसको हम कल्चर डालते हैं, जो तुम लोग जामन कहते हो, तो क्या होता है उसमें है सो जब ठंडा हल्का सा बहुत स्लाइट गर्म रहता है तब हम कल्चर डालते हैं, और उसके बाद देखते हो कि कर्ड जो बनता है बहुत ही थिक कर्ड बनता है, मैंने गाढ़ा बनता है. तो उसी तरह से हम लोग क्या करते हैं, ऑटोक्लेव करते हैं. ऑटोक्लेविंग के बाद हम लोग ऐसे उसको ठंडा करते हैं. अगर तुम दो तरह का स्टार्टर कल्चर यूज करते हैं, यू कैन आइदर गो फॉर मेसोफिलिक टाइप और थर्मोफिलिक कल्चर. अगर हम मेसोफिलिक टाइप करें तो दही वाला कल्चर जो बताया मैंने, स्ट्रेप्टोकोकस लैक्टिस, स्ट्रेप्टोकोकस मोरिस, these two are actually used at a temperature 25 degrees centigrade to 32 degrees centigrade, or even 30, you can go for 35 degrees centigrade, no problem. Whereas in case of when you use herd culture, that is Lactobacillus bulgaricus, Lactobacillus thermophilus, Streptococcus thermophilus, then the rate of the temperature is actually 42 to 52 degrees centigrade. So depending upon the culture or depending upon the type of culture, we are actually deciding the temperature. उसके बाद क्या करते हैं हम, we are adding starter culture in the inoculum in a laminar flow. उसके बाद क्या करते हैं, उसको सेट कर देते हैं, है ना? कल्चर इज एडेड at the rate of 1.5%. ऐड किया और वो सेट हो गया. अगर बफेलो मिल्क है तो यू कैन ऐड additional 0.5% more into the क्या कहता है, जो हमारा दूध जो ऑटोक्लेव किए उसमें डालना है. तो इस तरह से हम उसके बाद सेट करते हैं. उसके बाद वो कल्चर सेट हो गया. अब now we can assess the quality of the milk. How we can assess? You can say affect the quality, affect the coagulation. अगर तुम टेम्परेचर ज्यादा दोगे तो निश्चित रूप से ये प्रॉब्लम आएगा, है ना? Who is doing like this? (21) are present. I will not tolerate if anybody found guilty in writing on something slide. This is gross indiscipline. Or all are actually not open their video. In spite of several instruction, only 2 or 3 students are actually open their video, and rest are actually So it shows you are not interested in but just getting only marks. You are not interested in learning the things I want to convey. And in spite of that, you are not visual on my. I am throughout. I am all